In this segment, we're having a look at Jeff Pocaro playing Hold the Line with the band Toto. The song form is fairly simple, and the two main beats we're going to look at are the verse and the chorus. We're also going to break down 4 signature drum fills, and to do that, we're going to use the all-powerful app Anytune. Anytune will allow you to speed up, slow down, loop, and trigger sections with a MIDI controller, and a slew of other powerful options to help you learn, practice, transcribe, and perform. Down below, you'll have the option to download the app if you haven't yet. Number 2, download the specified song from iTunes, and then download the mark loop files from beatcreature.com that correspond with the song you downloaded from iTunes. The first beat we're going to have a look at is the intro/chorus beat. Now you can look at this song as being written in 4/4 or 12/8. Usually a slower shuffle is going to be written in 12/8, so the triplets or the groups of 3 that you see would be written or counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now I wrote this in 4/4, so we're going to keep it 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, since we can think of the quarter note pulse as being really nice and strong, and when I say 1, 2, 3, or 4, you know exactly where we are instead of counting up to 12. Not really a big deal. So this first groove is going to be all triplets all the way across. It's a 2-measure phrase. Now, just to even get acquainted with the song, you can play this one measure throughout the entire song. No change in the chorus, no change in drum fills if you wish. So let me show you the first beat and then tell you about the 2-bar phrase. So we're playing 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet on the hi-hat, 2 and 4 on the snare drum, and 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the bass drum. So 4 on the floor. So it sounds like this: 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Okay, now the variation here in the second measure is, you'll notice that there are 2 bass drums closer to the end. So if you're counting 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3, 4, okay? 4 goes right into the snare drum, and at the very end of that we have an open hi-hat as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, here it comes, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's use Anytune to slow this 2-bar phrase down. So we're at 85% now. 2, 3, 4. Here it is now up to speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the verse beat to this song, we're still keeping all the triplets on the hi-hat. Beat 2 and 4 is still on the snare drum, and the bass drum gets to kind of dance around a little bit. So let me take the hi-hat out for a moment, and it sounds something like this. Now there's one little variation at the very end of this, that when we get to beat 4, the very next note, remember if we're counting these 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, when you get to beat 4, the next note is trip, and you're going to grab that with your bass drum. So it sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4 trip, 1, 2, 3, 4 trip, 1. Okay? That's in the second measure. So let me play through that. Okay, now one more variation to that as well. After that trip, you'll see an O on top of the hi-hat, and it's an open hi-hat. Also notice that at faster tempos, if you look at the very first triplet of the first measure, they're in parentheses. So when you do an open hi-hat and the next time around, instead of playing the hi-hat with your hand, you can actually just use the hi-hat close as your note. So you'll notice so here's the verse beat slowed down to 85% with Anytune. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here it is up to speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. The first fill we're going to have a look at is the intro fill at the very beginning of the song. So you'll notice the snare drum hit at the very beginning. Now, as soon as you start to hear the piano, you can start counting 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. What's going to happen in the second measure into the piano part, the first time we get to play the floor tom is on the trip of 2. So you get 1 triplet, 2 trip. Now let me go through just the sounds first. So you're getting a floor tom flam here, and then a medium tom flam, and then another floor tom, and then now reach up. This is going to be a left-handed flam, a floor, and a high tom. So now let's try this slowed down again, 85% with this loop. It's a 2-measure loop. The first measure is just going to be a count off into that second measure. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. And up to speed. Fill number 2 basically is a segue from the verse into the chorus. So what we get is 1, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Now let me go back over that. So you get snare, bass, bass 3 times starting on beat 2. So 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Now every hi-hat will be with that as well. So okay, now the full entire measure goes. Notice that I made that swell just a little bit, and you'll see why in just a minute. So now let's use Anytune, slow down at 85% with this fill number 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Now up to tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. Drum fill number 3 uses elements of both the beat the previous beat and the previous fill. So we're going to get bass, bass, snare, bass, bass. And I'm leaving the hi-hat out for just a moment. So now add your hi-hat to that. Now the very next thing here, we see 16th note triplets. Now to figure out how fast we have to play those, remember, if these were the 8th note triplets, when we get to the 16th note triplets, we're just going to double the speed, right? So you have 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 4 triplet, okay? Now, when you do get to the 16th note triplets here, the grouping of 2, right after that is a crash. So we get, add the bass drum to the crash. Now we're going to get 3 of those groupings. So now adding that to the very beginning of this, so now slowing that down to 85% with Anytune. Now up to tempo. Drum fill number 4 uses again the first half of the measure to keep the groove going on, and the fill happens in the second half. So we get, right on beat 3, we get a flam, and from that point on, our 8th note triplets doubled and turned into 16th note triplets. Now with this fill, the bass drum gets to play with every one of those right hands as well, besides the flam. So now the whole entire groove. Ready, and fill number 4 slowed down with Anytune. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here it is up to tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Drum fill number 5 now, going through again the motions of the bass drum, snare drum, and then we'll piece everything else together. We get, now add the hi-hat to that. Now starting on beat 3, we get a snare drum and a crash. We're still counting regular triplets, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, but you'll notice that they toggle between the snare drum crash and the bass drum. Slow down to 85%, drum fill number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next we'll play the guitar solo with 3 of those drum fills up to tempo.